Well, this week's topic for Tuesday Tech Tip can be kind of an annoyance. I know we talk about these things very often. However, it's a very critical and important one this day and age when it comes to cybersecurity. And the topic for this week is creating the right password for your place of work, office tools, anything you use on your computer that you're logging into. As always, I'm Curtis Hyde. I'm with Colorado Computer Support. And as always, I appreciate hanging out with me, even with the topic of passwords. I thank you. So we're going to talk about, hey, what is optimal? What do we need to look for? What do we need to do in this world that we live in? Because the average office worker has 27 passwords they're responsible for, and the average IT professional has upwards to 200 passwords they're responsible for. That is a lot of passwords we have to manage and maintain this day and age when it comes to technology. So back in the day, or even just a couple of years ago, the standard was typically 8 characters that we looked for. Well, that has slowly become abolished because on average, it is said to be that an 8-character password can actually be hacked in under 60 seconds. Not a lot of weight that can be carried inside of that length anymore. So something we look for in the industry is a 20-character password is pretty safe these days. You can go as high as 64. That might seem a little bit excess, but yeah, at least 20 is what you're going to shoot for as far as characters inside of a password. Now, what you want to avoid is personal information. So if I'm going to use my full name like Curtis Andrew Hyde and then my birth date 1988, that's around 20 characters. However, it's so personal, that's going to be hacked very quickly. You need to make this stuff extremely unusual, weird, a specific code, something that is completely outside the box that no one can think of. So here's an example of something that you can use that I found online from Webroot, which is a antivirus or online security company, as an example of like a phrase that you could take from William Shakespeare. They just took a phrase that's very common, shrunk it into some different characteristics into a code, and created a password from that. So I'm not saying use this as an example of how you can take a phrase that you know or may like, that you can turn into a password knowing a code that you see inside of that. So another thing you can always do is if passwords become too complex, you have too many, you're juggling a lot of them, you don't want to use the same one for everything because that becomes very risky. They make these great tools called password managers. You have one master key password that you're forced to change and stay on top of. However, inside of that case, they manage, maintain, change, and put very high security standards in the passwords you're going to use all the time and will auto-embed them for you. There's great technology. There's a lot of companies that provide that. So if you have any questions about passwords, want to learn more about password managers, feel free to reach out to us. Or if there's any other thing inside of your business that's driving you nuts, we'd love to chat with you about that, see if Colorado Computer Support is the right fit to help you out. As always, you can give us a phone call at 719-439-0599 or find us on the web at www.coloradosupport.com. As always, thanks for hanging out with me for this week's Tuesday Tech Tip. My apologies on that. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.